I founded the Breakfast of Corporate Champions because the progress for women on boards and in the C-suite was glacial. And so I thought, if I'm going to be president of this organization while running a search firm, I need to make a difference. And so this was convening CEOs to focus on this issue.
Gender diversity on corporate boards has been shown to contribute to the bottom line for a very clear reason, that it leads to better decision making. And when you have a more diverse board, you have more diverse discussion of the issues, you have frequently much better risk management, but you wind up with a more exploration of the different aspects of every decision you're going to take, and that leads to the best possible outcome.
Well, I think that there's a great understanding that this issue is easy to fix, but it takes some focus. And I think that our whole view of replacing every other retiring director with a woman, or every other one, is a very compelling notion. You know, we don't need laws, we don't need new regulations, we don't need rules, we don't need people to tell us what to do. We just know that it's the right thing to do, and to get our numbers of women up on boards and get better representation, it just takes action and focus.
And there is a recognition that the leadership teams and the boards that got companies to where they are today are not the ones that are going to get them through the future to actually not only just navigate the disruption, but to become disruptors themselves. And that requires a diversity of thought, background, and experience. And that is where women are playing a critical role in the most successful companies.
I wanted our organization to be reflective of the people that we served. And it made a huge difference, because the last year I was CEO, we delivered an 85% TSR, total shareholder return, and it was the highest in our industry. And I think diversity matters.
But the realities are that, not to overgeneralize, but men and women often think differently from each other. You're a product of your background, you're a product of who you are, where you were raised, where you were educated. And that clash of ideas actually results in a better outcome.
And if you think about the decisions that are made by women, they are the majority of all people on earth. They are the majority of all people in the US. They are the majority of all graduates of colleges. They are the majority of all graduate degrees. They are the majority of our customers. 85% of all consumer decisions are made by women. 70% of the economy is driven by the consumer. Women drive the economy, they make the decisions, they are our customers, they are our employees, they are our communities. In other words, they make up the majority of every constituency that a corporation serves, and yet they form this very small sliver of people who are there governing the corporation. It doesn't make any sense, and it's got to change.
There's been some great longitudinal studies done by MSCI and by McKinsey that show that companies with more women in senior management and more women on boards tend to outperform over the longer term. And in some ways, people shouldn't be surprised by that.
I think the call to action is, as board seats come up, boards and nominating governance committees have to look at a diverse slate of talent to expand the pool of what we look at, because it can't just be CEOs or retired CEOs. It has to be people that have skills and capabilities that can add to the conversation and help companies make better decisions.
I know we're very focused on boards, but I believe as a CEO, the call to action is, are we as CEOs cultivating the next generation of board leaders? And that is a very personal responsibility that is person by person. And for me, that's the call to action.